I gotta head to the in-laws real quick, but if you're still home when I get home, what's the tea today? Let me up. Okay. I didn't know you were trying. I don't know how to get this off here now.
Hello.
Hi.
I was gonna say yes. Liv was not mad that Kristen and Rocky were together. She was only mad because they lied.
They lied about it, right? And
Yes.
they were like, okay, explain it to me. How long after Kristen and Connor broke up and Liv and Rocky broke up did they get together?
It was like, okay, so they all did New Year's Eve. No, they all did Christmas together. And then Kristen and Connor broke up at the Christmas thing. Liv and Rocky were broken up because I believe Brandon was already kind of in the picture. And then they all got the house together.
The day her and Connor broke up, she was with Rocky?
Is what the rumors were, but she said that it wasn't until they moved into the new house. Because we saw them on live together trying to put the stove together, and they were flirting and kind of touching up on each other. And then they said, oh, okay, well, we've got to run to Lowe's. And apparently it first happened in the car at Lowe's.
But Rocky said it happened. Okay, Sierra. Okay, so
I didn't know that Rocky has said differently. I'm just recalling from
what she said. Yeah, no. I like all the information, so I'll take anything, because I wasn't really around for this part, obviously.
Oh, I was. This was my deep in the lore. Because this is when Kristen was on live and Liv was on live 24/7.
Why are we talking about it? It happened years ago. So we're just talking about how this drama with this group has like been forever. And a lot of people never knew the origin of where Kristen and Liv and Connor and Rocky all came from. So we're just doing like a timeline.
But yes, technically Rocky and Liv were like Kristen and Rocky, to where they never really truly dated. But Liv was only mad because she asked them directly, is this happening?
From noon to 4 every day? Who said, what do you...
That's when Kristen and them were live every single day. When they would wake up at noon and then they'd be on till 4 a.m. And they would be drunk every single day.
Really? I wasn't there for that. I kind of wish I was.
They would be drunk. They would be fighting. It was a whole thing.
Y'all had too much time on your hands, sis. I'm having fun. Hold on. Oh, you just tried to come up and then didn't. That's sad. Okay, so then when Kristen and Rocky separated, let me change this background before someone comes in here and it's like, why the fuck? How do I do it? How do I change
Yes, I was there on the live when Soph met Kristen for the first time. Soph was a fan on the live and commented.
Soph started as a fan?
Yes, she commented on the live, I have alcohol, I want to come drink, because Kristen ran out of alcohol.
Okay, but wait, we're gonna have this background. I think this is a good one. But I thought Kristen didn't like fans because the whole reason Trayvon and Kristen and them started fighting was because Trayvon invited a fan to Whitney's birthday party.
Yes.
Soph was introduced to the group as a fan by Kristen?
Yes.
Faith.
But you also have to think, Kristen was bringing her kids to this birthday party. I wouldn't have wanted someone from the internet there either.
But I mean, if it's Trayvon's friend and Whitney was fine with it,
yeah. I'm just saying that that was back before, she obviously had kids and wasn't.
Yeah.
But yes, that's how Soph started out in the group.
As a fan, oh my God. So is that did Soph know any of those people other people on social media, or did she become also social media popular? Like, did
She
she?
became social media popular when she became friends with Kristen. And she started liking J Sauce. And her and J Sauce and Kristen and
They
Rocky were all like going to the Just.
Oh, so was Soph and J Sauce like together?
Liked her, she did not like J Sauce, apparently.
That makes me kind of sad. Okay, how do I get rid of this background? Okay.
And that is when they crashed out on a live one time. Her and Soph, the first time she ever came over, like her and Soph had this whole thing until like 4 o'clock in the morning, drinking, crashing out about Rocky on live. Because he was at Hannah's house.
So was Hannah his original ex that he kept going back to?
Yes.
I thought it was always Gigi.
No, it was Hannah first.
Oh.
Have you seen Hannah?
No.
Oh, you should see Hannah. And so.
Is she really pretty?
Yes.
Oh, you're gonna have to send me her after this.
And
Okay, I didn't know anything about Hannah. Thank you, Mama Sarah. We need a picture of Hannah, but you guys, Rocky already has me blocked. He's already mad at me. I'm so nervous if I go, and it's because I'm nice and comment on Gigi stuff. So imagine if I post a picture of his high school ex. Is she really pretty and classy? Oh my God, you guys, stop. I know I have to.
I only follow her on TikTok, I guess. I can't find her on Instagram. But she was like a college softball player, this whole thing. That is originally, do you remember when Kristen went from black hair to blonde and panicked and then fried all of her hair off?
I remember when her hair was black and then not blonde, but yeah.
It was because Rocky told her that he was only attracted to Hannah and Hannah had blonde hair.
Oh, that's so sad.
She fried her hair off. So this Rocky lore goes way deeper than I think that you're caught up with.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Singing to her and all of this stuff. It was a whole thing.
So did he ever?
And he would post sweet videos like he does with Whitney to Kristen, but then be cheating on being at Hannah's house.
Right, I remember Soph and Kristen were on live and Kristen called him and he was at her house. And then there's also one of her in a bathroom and she's like bawling her eyes out. She has the black hair.
Yes. So
that's like Kristen's like one that like she kind of fucked Connor over and then got with Rocky and kind of got her karma because he really fucked her over.
Yes.
But he also really hurt Liv.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like
so
Kristen would post videos of her bawling over Rocky and Rocky would go on live and make fun of her. I think that's why Whitney got so hurt the night that Rocky did that to Whitney, because the way that he talked about Whitney on live was exactly what he used to do to Kristen. And she was like, oh, this is happening all over again.
I was told and promised and like given the full I never did of Connor cheating on C. I heard C made up a rumor that Connor cheated on her and he didn't actually. My dog's bark alarm. My dad coughs or.
But Kristen and Connor were so on and off for so long that it's like, I'm wondering if something happened during a break. You know how you always have those breaks with those toxic people and then you're like, you cheated on me. And it was like, we were on a break.
Yeah, maybe. I'd ask him, but I wouldn't want to disrespect Marissa.
But yes, Kristen was awful to Connor online.
So I've asked Connor even privately, like, hey, like when he was doing his podcast and stuff like that, I would like come up with question ideas because a lot of people like ask me things and I don't have the answer. So I'm like, hey, like here's some ideas. These are the things people want to know. And everyone always wanted to know if he actually cheated on Kristen, and he swears that he never did. So
I'm just reiterating what the rumors are online.
Yeah.
I have no idea what real life is.
So, do you think, like, from someone that watched it, when Liv went on Connor's podcast, were Liv and Kristen already cool at that point?
Yes, they had already started posting stuff back and forth a little bit. Like, they were already kind of commenting on each other's things. Throughout the time that they weren't friends, they would come together and make videos like, okay, we're friends again.
So, did any of you guys follow Kristen before she moved to Florida?
Yes, I followed Kristen and Liv when they were living in their Michigan apartment.
Okay, so her take, like, as a person from then to Florida, like, do you think Florida changed her as a person?
I think the stuff with Rocky changed her as a person.
Oh.
Like, I'm not kidding. You watched this girl mentally deteriorate.
I can see that. It's like the toxic ex that everybody dates and like.
And
right after
yes,
school.
People in the comments, I'm not a Kristen sympathizer. I'm just saying that I think that really, really changed her. And while, yes, she was wrong in a lot of the situations in that, and you can say what you want, but like, if you look at her content before then till after, like, you would see a completely different person.
I can see in a lot of the videos of her, like when her and Liv were together, she had like this, like just seemed so genuinely happy. And then the whole time of her with Rocky, Connor, like once she shifted over and boys kind of got involved, it was like a completely different Kristen. Hi, Courtney.
Hi. I was ready to give my opinion of C. What I've noticed from like certain videos of like T pages, because I didn't start watching until like 2022, like end of that year. But with C, I felt like she was all sweet, innocent when she lived in Michigan, and then when she came down here, I felt like she was like sweet and innocent in the beginning, and then after she got with Connor and Rocky, I think it fucked with her head, and then being with Whitney, you know, receiving a lot of hate on the internet, especially in comments. I think Whitney kind of like gave her like a pep talk. Hey, just ignore it, or you know, let's just be petty back. Like if they want to be like us, they our shit stinks. Let's go ahead. Let's just run with it, you know.
And then everyone followed behind them, and they basically built an empire off it.
Exactly.
I do think that Kristen being friends with Whitney brought her more of a confidence after the situation with Rocky.
But it also brought them to be a lot more petty together because they both have that.
They knew they would have each other's back. Like
they fed off of that energy with each other because yes, Kristen like would post petty things, but it really, really ramped up.
I remember watching a live one time and they were on live together and Kristen said, Whitney, don't say anything. Like I don't need any drama. And then Whitney and Tyler were in the bed on the live. And they said like 4 more things about Rachel. And then finally Kristen started chiming back in. And I just remembered thinking at the time, like, oh my God, if they would just separate because they were both just so toxic with each other. Everyone's like, oh, I wish they'd be friends again. And I don't.
She was horrible to Connor and his family.
She was also really bad to Rocky's family. She was horrible. So I wonder, she seems to get along really well with Jacob's mom, though.
I will say, I have been in a toxic relationship when she was with, like, at the age that she was with Connor and Rocky. And I don't know how to word this because I don't think that Connor's family helped. And so I was also very mean to his parents and him towards the end because I was like, you've seen some things and you're still not backing me up. So that's kind of how I looked at it, that I wondered if that was happening.
Didn't she say like really vile things about Rocky's mom though, like being an addict and stuff?
Oh, I don't know.
Social media. I think she did. I don't like. I think
I think I remember, yes. I think one time she said something about, like, oh, you're going to listen to a crackhead or something. That's the only thing I remember.
Yeah. Being mentioned somehow of her being like an addict of some sort. I do remember that. I also like another big time when I would so I followed when her and Connor like broke up. It was trending. And then when her, Tyler, and Caden were all like a thing, I still wish we could go back and be like, I don't know. I feel like Whitney just should never have gotten him. This is so like opinionated of me to say, but I don't think Whitney should have ever gotten with Tyler knowing Tyler was already like obsessed with Kristen. I think it just made the whole situation even worse.
And that's what's really sad is because I think that Whitney genuinely loved Tyler. And I think Tyler loved Whitney, but I think in the back of his mind, Kristen was always there.
Right, because he's focused on Kristen, and then another person comes in, gives him love and attention, and he's like, oh, okay, like I love this love and attention, but that bond and like feelings he had for Kristen didn't go away. They both just went different ways.
Yeah. Well, Kristen basically said, I'm out.
Yeah, and fell in love and had a family.
Yeah.
And I do think that's a big thing is Whitney finally realized that, especially seeing like Kristen's text messages and stuff that were leaked. Tyler was obsessed with Whitney, not Kristen. I don't know, because even throughout Whitney and Tyler's relationship, Kristen was 90% of their arguments.
I think that certain people want to help spin the narrative that it was always Whitney before Kristen, but if you were actually watching them during that Tyler and Kristen,
with Kristen, with the Tyler, Kristen, Caden stuff, like you could tell Tyler wasn't kidding.
No, Tyler was absolutely in love and infatuated with Kristen and would follow her like a puppy dog. Even if she did him wrong, he was still always there, sending her flowers, doing this, doing that. Not that he didn't do that with Whitney during their relationship, but if you were to have watched it, the way that he just bowed down to anything that Tyler said or Tyler bowed down to anything Kristen said was absolutely, you could tell that love that Tyler had for her was real.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just love, it was like a toxic obsession.
Yeah, like he would have dropped anything and everything. I don't think he really did the same with Whitney. I think he loved Whitney and would be with Whitney, but there was a lot. Like, Tyler didn't bow down to Whitney the way everybody thinks or the way that videos make it look. Like, even when Kristen was brought up, like, it was never an, oh, I'll pick Whitney. Like, Kristen, when it came down to Kristen and Whitney, Kristen said, peace out, friend, I'm choosing my partner. Tyler never once said, peace out, friend, I'm choosing my partner. Like, he always had that attachment that he wasn't willing to let go of, and he didn't bow down to Whitney. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and I think that he wasn't the dominant one, but he also was not changing his ways.
Rose, I wasn't there or witnessed it myself, but I watched it played out online just the way that I watched Tyler and Kristen play out online. And you could tell that there was two different types of connections there.
And you can also...
I have relationships with some of these people, and I know things that maybe you don't know. So when you guys say, oh, he bowed down to her, but I've seen texts of him not bowing down to her, that's how I know. So yes, he is I do think Trinity's beautiful. Sorry, Courtney, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go
You're
ahead.
fine. I was just going to say exactly what you said. I was like, some T pages, hint, hint, above me.
And it's not necessarily what I was told, Jen. It's what I've potentially seen with my own eyes, or conversations I've had with people that have seen it with their own eyes. And you have to, never mind. I don't need to explain myself to you. If you want to know what I have to say, stick around and listen, and we'll all chat about it. And if you don't, then
Tyler had every opportunity to get up on this internet and defend Whitney when Kristen was on here bashing her, and he did not.
not one.
And instead, he hung out with Kristen and Jacob even more. And that should show you exactly what you guys are trying to say. And it
Tyler
wasn't.
was verified and had more clout than her before she came along. Whitney's had like 2 mil followers. She's been like known since back when she was with Lundy. Hi Dundee, hi Dylan. There's been 3 sides to every story. Obviously no one, yeah, everybody has faults. I don't think anybody's saying that that's not the
So
case.
how did Whitney and C actually meet?
They met through, before Kristen ever moved here, they went to a party and they were there. I want to say it was Angelo's party.
Probably.
And that's how they met each other before Kristen and Liv ever moved here.
But then when her and Rocky broke up, Whitney stepped in, right? That's when Whitney and Kristen started getting close.
Yes.
And who was Whitney with at that time? Like, who? I know she was really close with Trayvon, and was it Bree?
She was with Jared.
Ugh, the really ugly guy. Tate? She was with Tate?
No, she wasn't with Tate
Later.
there. Tate came later. She was with Jared, and then she broke up with Jared and became friends with Rocky and Kristen when Rocky and Kristen kind of got back together, and they would do like PCB and stuff like that together.
And that's where the videos of like, what?
That's where the video of
No, sorry. Can we, Rose, are you, I just got 2 restrictions. The live is, visibility is restricted for 10 minutes. You guys are insane. Okay, sorry.
yes,
around
Rose.
Jared. Whitney hasn't had a lot of boyfriends versus guys she's hung out with. Reset. That's 10 minutes. It's whatever.
But I was saying that's where the videos come in, where you see Kristen sitting at the bar in between Rocky and Whitney and turning to both of them and making out with the both of them.
So there was, where was it? Because I don't want to say it and not have it. There was something somewhere, a comment. I'm not going to say it. Hold on.
It's just, because C lied about her and Rocky being together.
Yes.
Because Liv really liked Rocky and like really cared about Rocky.
But she was also in another relationship at the
Moved
time.
on. Yeah. So kind of like what happened with Rachel. Rachel and Jacob broke up, and then Kristen got with Jacob and like told everybody she would never do it, but did it. But Rachel and him weren't together. So technically,
It wasn't cheating.
This
Right.
whole group just has a bunch of technically wink winks at each other. Every single one of them.
I know Rocky, people didn't know earlier, Rocky has been with Rachel and C were not besties like Liv and C though. No, they weren't. It was different, but Rachel genuinely did think her and Kristen were besties and was screwed over.
I think everybody's been with almost everybody in that group.
Yeah. Connor didn't get with anybody else in the group though, did he? He only got with Kristen, and then
I thought it was Liv.
Connor's never been with Liv.
Yeah, I think Connor only got with Kristen.
And then who is the okay? So after Rocky, when did the KB guy come in the picture?
It was before and right after Rocky.
Oh, he was twice.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turned to Jesus and left her in the dust.
That was way before he turned to Jesus.
Up with Rocky. I think Rocky and Connor both were with Kirsten. I don't know that for sure though, but I think. I'm not justifying C by any means, but her and Rachel both said they linked for clout. That's not true. There's actually live footage of Rachel hugging C and being like, you saved me. Like, I love you so much, you saved me. And I leaked text messages of Kristen in Rachel's messages being like, don't worry about this, baby. Like, everything's going to work out. We can hang out. I'm here for you. There was nothing to do with clout with them hanging out. It was, they are Dundee. It was very much so like Rachel was going through a hard time and Kristen said, let me be here for you. Thank you, Kayla. I'm going to make a live poll. You guys don't have to participate, but it's only 36 roses. Oh, so do you think Whit and Rocky are endgame? I would love to see it. I don't know if that will actually happen. I do think that they both, oh, thanks, guys. Dylan. I do think that they both test each other. They both need to be like high adrenaline all the time. And I think that they do that for each other. But I think there's a lot of toxic trauma traits between both of them that they both have to figure out or they're going to bump heads. But I can see like this time with them, like not like since their online fight, it does seem better. And like Rocky defends Whitney in a way I haven't ever seen anyone else do. And I do know that's like, for a woman, that's something most of us enjoy is having someone that will defend us.
I feel like she couldn't get that out of Tyler. I really honestly feel like she could not get that from Tyler.
You want to feel protected by your man. And
no, because Tyler wasn't going to speak up against Kristen, and the only person bashing Whitney at the time was Kristen.
True. Yeah, so it's like, how could he defend her? And when he would defend her, it would be like so cryptic.
Because you want to feel secure. You want your man to be like, okay, yeah, that's my husband or that's my boyfriend. Like, you want to feel proud, and she couldn't get that from him.
Trayvon and Whitney, I would not vote Trayvon into office. Ever.
I would not vote anybody in this Florida Shores group into office ever.
Okay, if we had to have like one day where they like controlled everybody and you had to pick one of them, who would you trust the most?
Dundee.
I know I've got to go back and forth with them, but I think even right now things are better. I agree. Bree, you guys would trust Bree. Liv, I do think Liv. Yeah, none of them. I do think Liv.
I think Liv would be the most kind-hearted, rational one.
I agree, but I do think
Whitney, if she lets us use the gas card.
Yeah.
In the Home Depot card. And the Amazon.
I don't think anything's wrong with Bree, but Bree is not very like in charge. She kind of like just follows back and like is more. I don't know how to do. Like I don't view Bree as a leader. She's very like, I'm gonna keep to myself, and yeah, that's how I view her. And I wouldn't want someone leading me that's like unsure of like even what they're doing. Dundee, we know you like men. Whitney is not all that, in my opinion. She has her faults. Yeah, she does have her faults. And I think that's something So I originally started off really hating Whitney. Like, I could not stand her. I thought she was the problem between her and Kristen, and that if Kristen got rid of her, then Kristen and Rachel could coexist. And I thought like she was 100% the problem. But then when I saw exactly what was happening to Rachel be done to Whitney, and the way that things were manipulated, like, I watched the Romeo and Rachel situation be so manipulated online for people's benefit, and like the way that timing was done and the way things were released, like it was very shisty. And then I watched the exact some paperwork came across your desk. Is it a cease and desist? And then yeah, I just saw the same thing happening to Whitney. Like the stuff with Jaden and Marissa was happening. Marissa was leaking all of the information. Kristen was supporting Marissa and doing it. Like, and then my whole opinion changed, and I was like, oh shit, like now it's being done to Whitney. And every comment Whitney was getting was literally, you should not be here, or like, no one likes you, you have no friends. Like, it was just really, I don't know.
I think C is a terrible person right now, and this is just my personal opinion. It's because she dropped Whitney as a friend, Trayvon, but she's friends with the meanest person there is, and that's Marissa. And that's not something a good role model you want to have. You're talking about you don't want Trayvon around the kids, but you got that thing around the kids?
So that is something I struggle with, but I try not to like really bring it to social media about like who people do or don't want around their kids. But Marissa was just literally in and out of a mental ward, and she is near the children. But Trayvon is a horrible person. Like, I understand why they probably don't want Emma. Who's Emma?
The blonde girl?
She is in school.
I thought she moved.
Yeah, she's in nursing school. She moved home for nursing school. Okay, so she didn't drop them for nothing. Whitney and Trayvon started talking about her right after birth. No. Whitney and Trayvon brought up the Bree situation. Bree was inappropriately touched on the leg or something, and Trayvon, I'm pretty sure, is the one that brought it to social media, and Kristen got pissed off, and then Whitney had a birthday party, and Soph was invited, and Kirsten and Soph were fighting because Soph didn't agree with Kirsten getting with Trevor. So Trayvon also was inviting a fan to the birthday party. So Kirsten and Trayvon were fighting. Kirsten got called a donut. Trayvon lost his management, and then Trayvon went online talking even more smack and brought up like the Bree stuff, and then they had already cut off Trayvon for the water slide comment, and then Jacob was commenting that Whit was cheating on Tyler and that she was like karaoke, and so the Bree stuff was brought to the internet. It wasn't in the past. It was like a month before that. And Bree did know that that was happening. I have the text message between Bree and Trayvon. And Bree did know Trayvon was going to leak it, and she was fine with it, but she didn't want it coming back to her, and it came back to her, and then Kristen and Jacob denied it, so everybody started coming at her, and so she was pissed off. But it actually was, like, I can never think of a time where Whitney talked and Kristen didn't. Ever. Yes, Bree was sitting with them in the vehicle, in the SUV, when Trayvon posted about it. And Trayvon even posted proof of him being like, hey, you knew I was posting that. And then she said, yeah, it's just too much for me. And then hey, I'm on live, stop screaming. And then a lot of it was also because Kirsten was mad that what she did was wrong. And Soph didn't side with her and Soph was still invited to the birthday party. They literally fought at breakfast. The whole thing started because Kirsten and Whitney got in a fight at breakfast about Soph. And then Marissa came to me and said, "Oh my God, there's a huge fight right now."
The whole problem, not the whole, but the majority of the problem with this group is that they go tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat, and none of them know when to stop going.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, so many of you see, oh, Kristen posted that Whitney did this, this, and this, and then you're like, in your mind, like, oh my God, that's so bad, but you've missed the 7 things that happened before it. Or like Whitney will post like, oh my God, Kristen just posted this, but not mention, like, there's so much between all of them. Thank you, P. Addy.
And I don't know if you guys have taken a peek into either Whitney or Kristen's comment sections lately, but the people that are on there just being absolutely horrible human beings on both sides are absolutely disgusting, and I hope that you know that, and that you should grow up and get off of line and go touch some grass. And that's all I have to say about that.
And that is true. Like, if you don't like Kristen, unfollow her. Like, you going and commenting on her stuff, being nasty and vile, like, honestly, that's putting more money in her pocket. So you're making yourself look nasty and mean on social media and paying her. So you literally look stupid. You're like, oh my God, you guys are making love in the water and there's fish floating. That's $10 in her pocket. Like, you will not catch me go to that girl's TikTok. You will not catch me go to Marissa's TikTok. Every time you watch one of their videos, it's $2 in their pocket. Stop. If you don't like them, don't look. Literally, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Well, and I just have this one thing to say about it, is that if one of them ever shimshelf, you guys will be the first ones on this internet writing on the post, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, that's so tragic, I can't believe it, I loved her, blah blah blah, when you guys were literally writing on the stuff about their lives that you have no idea who they are. Turn off the phone, go touch grass for a minute.
Wait, you used to get on Omegle? What does that have to do with anything? I'm so confused. Wait, is there comments I'm missing?
Ellie saying, why are you on live talking about other people's lives? You're the one being weird.
Yeah, I am.
Or T-Pages, bitches.
Yeah, I literally, at night, I just sit and stare at their pictures on Instagram until I fall asleep.
And some of the drama between half of these creators are, I wouldn't say skits, but like, it makes them a whole lot of fucking money.
And sometimes, you guys, they'll post talking shit to each other, and then they literally are texting each other.
None of y'all knew that before the Rocky stuff, Kristen